So, next video right away. I think that it'd be beneficial to make a video about the bean, kind of going over what is the bean and how it works. So I always tell my students, draw a bean for the torso. And last video we discussed that this bean is shaped generally like this in a lot of drawings that I make. What is the bean? Technically, it's two spheres, right? Both to represent two very different things. Not very different, pretty similar, right? One to represent the rib cage of your torso here, right? Two to represent the pelvis, the pelvic bone. And in between is the spine to connect both of them. Right? Got my rib cage here. And that's the idea of the bean. It's not a perfect bean, but that's okay. But students always ask, I don't really understand how it works. So here is another representation. We got our handy dandy little mannequin here. Right? There are several ways that the body can move. It can pinch from side to side. Okay. And that's how we are going to get this shape out of the bean. And I'm going to represent that by drawing a line like this, drawing my rib cage and my pelvis like that. Okay? Pinches side to side. It also bends forward. Okay? It also bends backwards. Alright? You can see rib cage and the pelvis bone. Here's the pinch behind the back. The elongated side is on his front, and vice versa. Okay? So you want to be finding the pinch and the elongation. And again, to draw that this way, I'll be drawing it like this. Right? Now you can't really see that part right there because that line's like this front line. It's going to be either on the left or right, but you can add it in a little bit, kind of give it a little bit of depth. In this case, the rib cage is going like this, the pelvis bone is coming back like that, we have our spine coming like that. Okay? Adding these little cross contours help show what's going on. Another way that our torso can move is a twist. Okay? It can twist. That one tends to be a little bit trickier for people, but I'm going to attempt it. Alright? So this bean come in like this. Like that. Right? So that's how I would draw a twisted bean. And what's cool about that is you need to draw in, yeah. I'm not really going off this, I'm kind of free winging it here. But this is how it would look like if we had a twisted bean. This time the pelvic bone is facing this way while the rib cage is coming this way. Okay? So here you'd be able to see some abs, just a little bit, but the obliques is what's twisting and turning, right? When we twist, we have skin twisting around this way. So you need to show that in your drawings, right? This twisting motion here. Okay. And last but not least, you have a foreshortened view, and foreshortening means something that's coming towards you. If a fist is coming at me, I'm not going to draw a fist like this. It's going to be right here, right in my face, coming like this. Okay. And you might be able to see the forearms, maybe the shoulder, a little bit of bicep. Okay. You can tell that's coming at you because you can see some elements from the side that are wider than the object closest to you, but that object closest to you is going to be bigger in comparison to those things. So if I were to draw for a shortened bean, right? If I had a top view of a person, it'd be something like this, right? This shows me, represents the head here. This is a top view of a person, but that's a little advanced. You're not going to see situations like this unless someone was bending over, right? Tying their shoe or something. The arms are coming down. So I guess that's a case where you would use a foreshortened bean. It's almost like two circles right on top of each other. Okay. So for the next little bit, you're going to be able to see a little picture on my phone here. And we're going to kind of try to distinguish the bean. I'm going to do a couple. Here we go. Again, we got a hard one right away. So it's a twist and it's also foreshortened. But I'm going to try to do my best, see what we can work up with here. Have this come in like that. It's twisting through. And comes like that. Alright, if I were to draw what it looks like, front of his chest is here. It's going to come to the back. It's going to go around it. You can't see it anymore, but comes back here for the front of his stomach. Alright, this point right here, this is where the neck would be coming out, and his head would be right here, looking at you. Mean mugging. Alright. Okay, let's go to the next one. This one's pretty simple. Here's another way to draw the bean. Draw two spheres relatively close to each other. Okay? Because of course this is going to represent my rib cage. There's a little bit of space for the rib cage above the pelvis. This one's really static, nice and simple. Okay, nothing too special with this one. There we go. So I'm looking at my picture. One way I like to think is I'm looking here. The pelvis or the butt is to the left of her chest or her upper body here. So that automatically tells me right away the pinch is going to be on the left side coming here. The elongated side is going to be on the right going here. I have some comments saying I want to improve on drawing the bean. And that honestly just kind of involves practice. Just working on it, you know. So I'm looking here, her leg is coming out from here, and we have another leg coming out from the bottom here, but I can see a little bit more of this leg here, which tells me the pelvis opens up this way like that, and there's another area right there from which the leg comes out. So that's how we got this pelvis going on. Her rib cage is going to be a little slanted. Whoops. interesting pose. Again, it's going to be very similar to this one. It's just a straight on pose. Just like that. Very vertical. Now this one might trick a couple people. So here, you can't really see too much of the body because of these thrills and frills here. So I need to think. I need to use my prior knowledge. Right? Her butt's to the left. We have legs coming this way. But her back isn't hunched over like this, which tells me her stomach is pushing forward to the right. Right? If I were to make that pose with little mannequin bud here, if I can, if that's doable. Right. So she's a little twisted. So I'm going to have to draw in that twist because we can only see her legs from this type of view. But I'm going to exaggerate it a little bit too, because that's okay when you're doing your gesture drawings. Add a twist there. So, front of her body is going to have that line coming up here. And then we have the pelvis opening coming in through here. Got her rib cage right there. Right? That's how I'd start off that bean. If you guys are wondering what website I use, it's just called lineofaction.com. If you search up figure drawing poses, it's like the first website to use. Make sure that you, pick clothed. This is a pose we've done in class before. I really like this pose a lot. It's really dynamic, has a lot of movement, a lot of different lines, a lot of different angles, but we're focusing on the bean here. So, right here, right away, I'm looking, I see the butt is going to be here, the chest is going to be here, her chest is jutting forward, right? So if I were to draw that into two pieces, I'd be drawing it like this, okay? And her rib cage, can't really see it because it's more of a side view, but the front is going to come up around here. Her butt is angled like this, right here. Actually, it's more like this. Alright, so if I were to connect the two, using the bean shape, that's how we have it. I'm going to do a couple more in that type of method where I break it into two circles and I connect them. Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know how well you can see that, but we got another twist, so I'm going to throw in the circle here. It's a little slanted, and then her pelvis is like this, angled like that. Right? I'm going to add in the twist here, but more so goes to the side, like that. Add this in, come in, connect the two. Here we got our bean.